Hello, everybody. How are you today? I hope that you've had a very good day, and I also hope that you've had a very happy Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving was good too, and I trust that all of you enjoyed with family and friends and eating good food, watching football games, and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm back again, and I want to first of all take this opportunity to say thank you for your support in all of what I try to do on this channel. And I would like to welcome you back to my channel on today. And if we have any new viewers today, if you like what you see, feel free to leave a comment and subscribe and press that little like button and the little notification button as well, and you'll be able to be notified whenever I come back on again. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to get down to business, and only for a few minutes that I plan on being on here. I just want to talk about something that most of us have heard of our entire lives, but I guess we really haven't thought much about, because it may not have applied to us, or it may have in one way or another. So, and by the way, this does happen to apply to me, and I will tell you why in just a moment. So, my topic for today is why I disagree with the term illegitimate child. Why I disagree with the term illegitimate child. And, that's something that I never understood. For my whole life, I've heard that term, illegitimate child. But my question is, what constitutes an illegitimate child? First of all, I know what laws say, and I know what a lot of people have told me, and others have said over the years. And while that's all well and good, I have a problem with that. I just, how can anyone classify an innocent baby or a toddler or a teenager or anything like that as illegitimate? I mean, to me, it's like they're automatically discrediting these children's existence. It's like they're not even warranted an opportunity to be here. And I think that is so unfair to kids, if you ask me. And by the way, I guess I could say that I was an illegitimate child because of the circumstances that I was born into. And let's talk about these circumstances for just a moment. Okay, first, let's define the term illegitimate. Illegitimate means not authorized by the law, not in accordance with accepted standards or rules. And then there are adjectives that go along with that term. Number one, born of parents who are not married to each other. Born out of wedlock. Well, I fall into that first adjective because at the time I was born, my parents weren't married. And I know that there are many of you out there who may have been born under those same circumstances. Your mother and father may not have been together in holy matrimony, and because of that, somebody came along and declared you illegitimate. But how did that make you feel when you found that out? I mean, regardless of what happened between your parents, how would it make a child feel knowing that it's quite possible that their very existence is almost not permissible, you know? I mean, because basically that's what they're saying indirectly when they call a child illegitimate. Number 2, not legitimate, not sanctioned by law or custom. Number 3, unlawful, illegal, and illegitimate action. And number 4, irregular, not in good usage. Now there's a noun that goes along with this term also. Number 1, a person recognized or looked upon as illegitimate. And number 2, to declare illegitimate. Now, here's a little information that I found on wikipedia.org. Legitimacy in traditional Western common law is the status of a child born to parents who are legally married to each other, and of a child conceived before the parents obtain a legal divorce. Conversely, illegitimacy, also known as bastardy, has been the status of a child born outside of marriage, such a child being known as a bastard, a love child. And I'm sure many of you, everybody pretty much has heard that term before, love child. But you've heard bastard too, because a lot of times when there's somebody who's comes across as, you know, like they got the big head, or they have a real rambunctiousness about themselves, and they're mischievous, and they're always getting into trouble, doing stuff that they don't have any business. Oftentimes, someone may refer to such a person as a bastard. You low down, dirty bastard, you. Not really knowing what they're saying, but that's the term that they use because they're really trying to cuss them out in the first place. A natural child or illegitimate. You know, it's crazy, you know, and it's like the older I get and the more understanding I gain, you know, looking back at a lot of the things that we were taught growing up, it just makes me wonder, how in the world have I made it as far as I have in life? And, you know, without really knowing the complete and total truth about things. Because when children are born, they're born like, you know, with a blank slate. They come here with empty minds, and their spirits are not contaminated yet because, you know, they haven't been out here in this world. They haven't been around folk that's teaching them a lot of ignorance and then programming them with certain you know, ideologies and stuff, you know, I mean, religious concepts and bad information, you know, being taught hatred and prejudice and discrimination against different groups of people, different ethnicities and classes of folk. They haven't been taught that. But once they start growing up and they're beginning to be around certain family members and neighbors and what have you, and they're taught these things, and it's all based solely upon ignorance. Because if people really understood that each one of us is different, you know, we come here and I feel that every soul that is born into this world has a purpose. You know, each one of us. And not all of our purposes is the same. But each one of us came here for a divine purpose. But if you're going to call a child illegitimate, then in a sense, you're saying that that child doesn't even have a purpose for being on this earth. In other words, it's like saying they really don't have any business being here. It would have been better for them if they had remained where they were. So that's why I just don't agree with that term illegitimate. I don't like that referring to kids, because children don't know what kind of circumstances and situation they're going to be born into. You know, all we can do is just, when they come here, they hope for the best, and children are, when they have hope. You know, they're optimistic, and you know they have bright eyes, and they view the world with innocence. It's not until these stupid folk start coming along, contaminating them, messing up their mind with all this garbage, you know, that's what ruins them. And I really hate that for these kids. So here are my thoughts on illegitimacy. If the courts, a judge, an attorney, child protective services, the police, the governor, the president of the United States, a preacher, a school principal, a doctor, or any other person and or organization has deemed a child or children as illegitimate, then in my opinion, they are indirectly saying that such child or children have no right to be here and therefore should not even exist. And I tell you, that is just, it's really terrible. Now, I want to know your thoughts. You know, because I know that there are many parents out here who have children and they had them outside the bonds of marriage, you know, and their relationship may not have worked out, but they still had the child. But, you know, somebody came along and maybe said something to the parents too. Well, your child is illegitimate because y'all had that baby out of wedlock. And then look, let's not forget about what they said, that the Bible says, that that I was born in sin, shapen in iniquity. That's something else that I despise now that I have a better understanding of all of this. You know, how can a child be born into sin and shaped in iniquity? And they'll go back and say, well, it's Adam, you know, and he sinned, and sin fell upon all of mankind. But I tell y'all, we really got a long way to go when it comes to gaining real knowledge. But I'm so thankful that people are finally waking up and are willing to sit down and do some research for themselves. And I hope that you're one of them. So tell me what you think about illegitimate children. Do you think that it's right for people to call a child illegitimate just because of the circumstances they were born into, something that they could not help by the way? Because, in my opinion, I think it's unfair for the child, you know, who didn't ask to be here in the first place, you know, but they're born. And since they're here, then it's up to the parents and all those around, you know, in the community who have direct affiliation with the child and the family to see to it that the child grows up and has self-esteem, feels good about him or herself, and be able to go out into the world and to become something that will not only make others proud of him or her, but become something that he or she can be proud of themselves. So those are my thoughts. And feel free to like and comment and subscribe. And I certainly want to take this time to say thank you for tuning in. Sorry if I ran over a few minutes, because I try to stay within a certain allotment of time, but I felt that this was very important today, and that's the reason why I wanted to come on here to share it with you. So thank you once again for tuning in. And I hope that you will continue to tune in to me as I will continue to share good information with you. Try to encourage you and everything else. Make you laugh if I can. So thank you once again. I am Taryn Harris. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.